This year at the Global Leadership Summit, former fighter pilot Carrie Lorenz said this. She said, "Failure is not the enemy. Inaction is." In her context of flying jets worth millions of dollars, there's no time for hesitation or inaction. The pilot must make the best decision in a split second to land the plane successfully. So often, our issue is not in landing the plane. It's simply in getting the plane in the air. And what holds back so many of us from getting that plane in the air in the first place is the fear of failure. Maybe there's a dream God has placed in your heart, a problem you want to solve, a wrong you want to right, but you falter because there's this voice in the back of your head saying, "But what if I fail?" So you think it's safer to keep the plane on the ground and maintain the status quo. If that's you, I want to share some words with you. They're from President Theodore Roosevelt in a speech he gave in 1910. These words from more than 100 years ago contain some of the most poignant leadership advice I've ever heard. It's not the critic who counts, he said, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, because there's no effort without error and shortcoming, but it's the one who does actually strive to do the deeds that counts, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly. Man, I want that to be me. I want to look back at my life and say I spent myself in a worthy cause, following and sharing Jesus with others. So as you contemplate your next step as a leader, remember, it's not the critic who counts. Whether that's the critic in your head or those telling you to restrain your passions and stick with a status quo. You'll sometimes err and come up short. We all do as humans. But as a leader, I charge you to spend yourself in a worthy cause and dare greatly.